Hey, what's up guys? My name is Cameron Gallagher from We Are Filming. Today we're talking about those new Apple chipsets and what that means for the future of Apple. So let's get into it. So I wanted to make a video kind of just my reaction and sort of talking about the new announcement that Apple just announced yesterday that Apple is going to be making their own chips, which we kind of saw coming for a while. But they're going to be making them very soon, a lot sooner than I think people really thought, or at least a full turnout, and that they're going to be transitioning from Intel to the Apple Silicon, or Silicon, however you want to say it, their own chipset basically in their computers. So what that means is that basically Apple is going to be producing the actual CPUs that are inside of the computers, which obviously they've been producing CPUs for their phones and tablets for quite some time now. And I think this is going to be very interesting for a couple of reasons. So this is twofold. On one side, I see this as a massive, incredibly awesome thing because Apple is an absolute monster at creating processors. I mean, the processors in the iPhones and the iPads are absolutely incredible because not only are they so power efficient, they're so thermally efficient, they are so fast. I mean, you saw them talking about basically they're running the iPad's processing power on a computer and it's running more than fine. And you're talking that was something that was built for a tablet. So when it comes to what Apple's going to be able to do with their processors, it's going to be just 10 times better. And one of the reasons is because, and one of the big reasons at least that I see, is in the laptops and with the thermal issues, because in the past, Apple's had a ton of thermal issues with Intel. Basically, the laptops would throttle or overheat or things like that. Because Apple is so good at their thermal, just in general, with their own processors and sort of the actual battery life based on those, I really see these new laptops coming out in the future to be not only just 10 times faster than the Intel-based ones right now, obviously because they're going to be newer, but also that much more power efficient, and they're going to be faster because they're not going to thermal throttle. And that I see is a huge upgrade for the laptop, for the future of the laptop in general, but also the future of what they can build inside of smaller machines. I'm really interested to see where the iMac's going to go, and reason being is I have an idea. So obviously Apple is really pushing the iPad, but they know that the laptop's not going anywhere. But I think that one of the things that this really brings up is obviously a smaller form factor computer that is going to be that much stronger. So things like Mac Minis, obviously the Apple Mac Pros are, pretty insane, and we'll see what they do with that in the future. But that's an upgradable system, it's kind of different. I really am curious if they're going to come out with an iMac that is going to be a really nice 5K, maybe even that 6K display that is going to be so thin and so incredibly power just efficient. It might be even iMac Pro because it'll be so fast, and it'll be that much slimmer and thinner of an actual machine. So in general, I think this is a really good thing because it only means that Apple is going to get stronger and just faster, better computers the more that they come out. So that's awesome. That's great. Faster, better computers is going to be really nice. The only downside that I see to this is two things. One is the transition. How are programs like Adobe and DaVinci Resolve going to work on both of these? And are you going to start seeing more exclusivity where it's like, hey, Blackmagic Design only works on Apple processors or only works on Intel processors or something? I'm not saying that's going to happen. I don't think it will. But there is a little bit of this, for instance, in the last couple months, I've noticed that DaVinci Resolve is becoming a little bit more unstable, and I think it's more along the lines of some of the features they're adding and they're sort of polishing things up. But in the future, is it going to be even that much less stable? And same with Premiere Pro and all of them, because they're going to have to work on now 3 different types of CPUs, or I guess more, but either way, AMD, Intel, now Apple. Is that going to just create more problems in the future, and what does that mean for developers? Me personally, I don't see that that's going to be a huge issue. I'd really like to see the push towards these processors in general because, again, I think Apple, whether or not you like Apple or not, you have to give them credit. They make incredible CPUs, from performance to the power consumption to the thermals. I mean, it's literally basically unmatched. I would say it is unmatched. So I think this is really great for video editors in general because I think the Apple ecosystem is going to get that much better. It also is going to add new features in the future. Obviously, the Apple processors have a lot of the cool neural engine and all that kind of fun stuff built in. So I think we'll see a push towards that kind of stuff too. I don't really care as much about that. I think it'll be handy. But as a video editor and content creator, I think that the idea that Apple is going to start making that much faster and better processors, I mean, who knows? It means that maybe in, 5 years, I mean, you can pretty much do it now, but in 5 years being that much more powerful, you could take your laptop and basically plug it in to, 2 external 6K monitors and it be no problem. And it could just crunch through anything. Maybe it has, 64 cores or something. Who knows? The fact that, again, they're just going to push the boundaries, I think, is going to be really great. And I also think it creates competition. So if you're not someone who's using Apple, I think that Intel and AMD are going to have to catch up, and they're going to have to make sure that they're doing their part, which is only going to make the entire, just, all computer parts better in general. So I think this is a really great thing, and I think this is good to see this, and I think this means a lot of good stuff for the future of Apple, as well as just the computer and processing industry in general. Obviously, I think more competition like that is going to create some more stuff, so that's fun. I'm excited to see what comes out. I'm super happy with my 5K iMac, so I don't really see jumping anywhere in the future to anything else that much, in the near future. But I would say the great part is that maybe in 4 years or so, 3-4 years, when I do decide to upgrade, by then we'll have converted over to the Apple processors 100%, and we'll kind of know what to expect. So I'm assuming the next time I buy a computer, it will probably have an Apple processor in it. I do love the Mac ecosystem, as I've talked about before, so I'll stick with it. That's my guess. Who knows? We'll see. I have an 8-core right now, so I mean, I wouldn't really want to upgrade unless it was like a 16 or 24 core in the future. Something that's like really, really beefy, like a real beefy workstation. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.